Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum. Before I start, I want to introduce myself. My name is Narshuhada binti Azhari. I am student in Information Management at UiTM Rembau. So, today I want to tell you a topic that is related to Transaction Processing System or TPS. I'm sure many still do not know what is TPS. Therefore, I would like to explain and talk about TPS. A transaction processing system is a set of information which process the data transaction in database system that monitors transaction programs. The system is useful when something is sold over the internet. It allows for a time delay between when an item is being sold to when it is actually sold. An example is that of a sporting event ticket. While the customer is filling out their information to purchase the seat ticket, the transaction processing system is holding the ticket so that another customer cannot also buy it. It allows for a ticket not to be sold to two different customers. There are many different types of transaction processing system, such as payroll, inventory control, order entry, accounts payable, accounts receivable, and others. Transaction processing produces valuable input into many other systems in an organization, such as management information system and decision support systems. TPS serves as the foundation for this other system. It also tracks routine operation but does not provide much support for decision making. There are well-known types of TPS. Firstly, batch processing. This is where the information is collected and stored as a batch but not processed immediately. Batch processing is useful for enterprises that need to process large amounts of data using limited resources. For example of batch processing is payment by check and credit card transaction. Next, online transaction processing, or also called OLTP. OLTP is a system whereby each transaction is processed immediately, without the delay of accumulating transactions into a batch. OLTP is a real-time transaction, mostly in online shopping that use PCI cards, which is payment card industry. There are examples of OLTP such as PayPal or WorldPay, WePay, eWay, IcePay, and ATMs. For the last type is a real-time processing, which is it deals with one transaction at a time and does not have a time delay. So next, I want to talk about qualifiers of TPS. There are 4 qualifiers of TPS. Firstly, atomicity. Atomicity is a transaction must be complete in full and not in parts. A transaction must take place entirely. Secondly is a consistency. Data integrity or consistency should be well maintained. Cash should not go negative in the books. This is a requirement of the management system should be such that it does not accept any cash payment related transaction when the cash is not available. Thirdly is isolation. The transaction must be executed simultaneously, but individual privacy should not be disturbed. Debit and credit should occur simultaneously without affecting each other. For the last qualifiers that need in TPS are durability. Transaction which is not confirmed should not be recorded, and transactions which are complete should be edited only with prior approval. There are a few attributes of transaction processing systems such as access control. TPS generally has features by which only authorized users are allowed to access the system. Thus, any unauthorized user cannot make changes to the system or access the system. This access control feature leads to security of the TPS. For the next attribute is an equivalence. TPS provide similar format to its user for data entry, thus users' efficiency gets increased and the overall system effectiveness is also improved. Besides, high volume rapid processing is also one of attributes that need in TPS. A pre-requirement is that TPS must be able to process huge transactions within a less time than that to efficiently. We know the number of transactions occurring in railway system and the quickness required. A TPS must be such that it may handle large number of transactions without any failure. Last but not least is reliability. A TPS should be such that it is available day and night. TPS should be such that we can believe it is secure and error-free. For your information, there are 4 components that have in TPS. For the firstly is an input. It is source documents such as customer orders, invoices, purchase orders, and others serve as inputs to the TPS system. Secondly is a processing. Once the inputs are provided, they are further processed to get an output. And for the thirdly is a storage that ledgers serve as a source of storage. And for the lastly is an output, that any document generated is termed as output.